we go. All right, now I'll let folks in. Good evening, everyone. Go ahead and ask everybody to keep their cameras and their audio off while we are in here. Just help Zoom be a little less laggy. I know there may be some friends of the others in here too. And if there's time at the end, we can have a quick everybody on camera kind of a look to say hello. I know it's really nice to see faces at a time when we can't do that in person right now. So getting everybody joining in here. Well, again, good evening. My name is Ginny, and I'd like to welcome you to this Anderson's Bookshop virtual author event tonight with Jessica Zweig and friends. We're really glad to have you with us. Thank you for taking the time to keep your eyes on another screen to talk books with us. For those of you who aren't familiar with us, Anderson's is an independent bookstore. We have been owned and run by the Anderson family for going on 6 generations now, since 1875 in the community. So your support is very personal to us and very appreciated by us. We just want to take a minute to thank you for that because it does matter. We would normally, of course, be having this event in person, along with over 400 others in a normal year, whatever that means now. But we're hoping that this virtual style keeps us all tied over until we can be together in person again, which I have faith now that is within sight sometime. We can see it on the horizon. We do have other virtual events on our calendar for all ages and interests, and would love for you to check out our website to find your next event. Just a couple of quick upcoming things. We have an event with Dr. Michelle Borba about helping kids thrive, and the amazing Anne Lamott is going to join us next month as well. So please check us out on our website, andersonsbookshop.com, or any of our many social media channels. But today we're very happy to be discussing Bee, the new book by Jessica Zweig, and she'll be joined by some friends here. So I just want to introduce everybody one by one. Jessica Zweig is the CEO and founder of the Simply Bee Agency, a personal branding company that helps millions of people worldwide. She's been named a personal branding expert by Forbes, a top digital marketer to watch by Inc., one of 2020's most notable entrepreneurs by Crain's Chicago Business, and the 2018 and 2019 recipient of the International Stevie Award for Female Entrepreneur of the Year. She's been featured on Fox, ABC, NBC, Thrive Global, Business Insider, and more as an expert on how an authentic personal brand is the key to a more successful career. And we are also joined tonight by Andrea Levoff, a writer, performer, and creator of the Dope Ass Moms web series, which I love. Tali Kogan is a stylist, creator of Tel Aviv Couture, and a very proud mom. She empowers women through fashion and personal stories, and overall spreading positive vibes. And Ceta Walters is a Chicago-based blogger for fashion, motherhood, and travel. Good evening, all of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And have everybody there. I'm gonna just unmute there. Yep. And Tali. There we are.
Hello.
Hi, ladies. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
We also have Zoe in the house too, so she's going to be joining us. She's my favorite. She's my style accessory tonight.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. Thank you for having us, Ginny. And I just want to give a huge thank you to Anderson's Books for hosting us. Bookstores are, so essential and a part of American history, and like, damn, they've been around a long time, and like how iconic is Anderson's, and what a special thing to partner with this type of bookstore, and going on a book tour and really, putting yourself out there, pitching yourself. Bookstores were a huge part of the launch strategy. And, from what Megan Taylor and I learned is that like not all bookstores are able to do events, especially during this time. And so thank you so much for partnering with Bee and my book. And I'm just really grateful.
Absolutely. We're thrilled to have you. All right.
Well, welcome everybody to the final night of the BU tour. We're gonna talk about, what do you guys think we're going to talk about? Of course, we're going to talk about style. We're going to talk about fashion. We're going to talk about how to build an authentic brand. And when, it came to really visioning this final night of this tour hosted by a Chicago bookstore, I really wanted to pull together some of my favorite Chicago women. And I love them not just because they're fabulous and stylish, but because they're incredibly inspiring women to me. And they have just amazing hearts, and they're just deeply good women who have been there for me, who support me. I really feel their light shining at me all the time, and their light shines so bright to their communities, and they've built communities. They built extremely successful businesses and brands. And so I wanted to bring them all together tonight to have a conversation about style. But of course, style means so much more. And I have a whole chapter in my book on style, which we're going to talk about and dive deep in, and really use that as a facilitation for this conversation. But before we do that, I would love for them to just briefly introduce themselves. And we'll go Andrea, Tali, Ceta. So that's the order I'm looking at you ladies. And let's just, open it up by sharing who you are. Andrea.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andrea Levoff. I am a Chicago-based blogger and influencer and writer. I'm also a comedian. I have a following of mostly women that are interested in motherhood and style and comedy. And I'm just really happy to be here with Jessica tonight and my other fellow style fashion bloggers.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tali Kogan. I am a stylist, a blogger, and I'm a very, very proud mom. My mission in life is to empower women, especially the busy women, and through fashion and through style, through personal stories and positivity. And I'm really happy to be here. And I love my girls and I love Jessica, and I'm excited for the night.
And I love your yellow hat.
Hi, I'm Ceta Walters. I am a Chicago-based digital content creator. I create content for fashion, motherhood, and travel. And I am the mother of 2 boys, Clark and Stone, which is the namesake of my blog. And I'm so happy to be here with you women. And I'm learning how to just be.
Love that. And I think we all are. And something that I've really consistently admired in each of you is the way that you just show up in your beingness, when it comes to how you express yourself through fashion and through clothes. And I think that people disregard like fashion as just like a fun thing we get to choose to do, or like a nice to have. And in my book B, in my it's chapter 18, it's called Color Your Life. Okay, where I talk about style. I talk about bringing your brand offline and the power of that. And I talk a lot about my style, which is very related to the color yellow. And I say, I tell the story of why yellow, and I talk about how it might seem trite or cute, like, oh, Jessica's the yellow girl. But that choice, that consistent choice, and that boldness in that choice has actually, like, in many ways put me on the map. Like, people know me because of that color. People remember me because of that color. I've been able to open doors because of that color. And I felt so moved by that I wanted to really teach other people to become conscious. For me, it's color. For, I want to hear what it is for you guys. We all have our own take, but how has, besides your own personal like passion for it, like how has style opened up doors for you in your business? And if you can talk about the impact it's had on your brands, I'd love to know. No particular order.
For me, I've always felt like my personal style is like my business card. Like, it's who they see before they get to know me. And I've found a way to translate that into my brand. Like, whenever someone asks, I say my style is edgy, classic, and boho. And that kind of matches with my personality. And the edgy part of me is taking risk and styling like the unexpected color, like Tali's color blocking today is amazing, but people wouldn't typically think to put yellow, blue, and white together, but it's a risk and it works. And that's kind of, that's kind of my personal life, philosophy, to take risk and see if it works.
I love that connection to your personality and to the way you live your life.
Yeah.
Expressed through fashion. And fashion is a doorway. It's a portal. It's a connecting point for us to like relate and find aspiration. But what you've done, Ceta, and each of you have taken people in your lives, like in an authentic way. And you've amassed this following, sure, because you're a fashion blogger, but you're also a mom and you've survived cancer and you've really
Yeah, yeah.
up your world in such an authentic way. And I think in many ways, like your style was the portal into that.
Yes, yes. And even with the breast cancer, you know, for those who don't know, I am a breast cancer survivor. But fashion played a role in, you know, my road to recovery, that having a double mastectomy and how to camouflage, you know, the wonky boobs until I got the really good boobs, you know, like fashion continued to be, or even showing up for my chemo, you know, decked to the nines, because I didn't want, you know, cancer to take over who I was. And, you know, I just allowed fashion to continue to be a part of that because it brings me joy.
Yes. And it brings other people joy.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Beautiful.
I totally feel like a style, such an amazing opportunity just to express yourself and really to have fun with that. And I think I think style, it's just a great way to make connection, because when you put together a bold and interesting outfit, it's an instant conversation starter. And I can't even tell you how many people I met just through my outfits, not
Yeah.
to mention the energy that you're getting from people, just like, you know, being strategic about putting a certain outfit, a certain vibe on. I feel like when I'm wearing something bold, not only that I'm feeding myself with amazing energy, and we all have those days that you wake up and you really don't want to dress up. And some days I really don't, but when I do dress up, it just changes my mood instantly. And
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
walk on the street, I can just feel the universe, you know, like people are smiling at me. And I just feel like I make not just myself happy, but also everyone else around me. And it's clearly like became a huge part of my brand. And since I realized that I guess I have that skill, that my magic power of like putting together those fun and interesting outfits. That's how I started like making a business out of it. Like that's how it all kind of like came together. I want to teach others. I'm like, okay, that worked for me. So now I want to teach everyone else what to do, how to get that confidence, and how to put those beautiful outfits together that complement your body shape and give you the confidence that you need to really accomplish pretty much anything in life.
Can I just say something about that real quick? Because I want to share this, and then Andrea, I want to hear from you. So Tali, everyone knows Tali's my stylist and helps me a lot. My whole closet is like because of Tali Kogan. And about 2 years ago, I had a speaking engagement. I had to fly to LA and do this talk for like a corporate company. And I was so nervous. And Tali came over and she styled me before that trip, and she helped me pick the dress. And it was this BCBG, like black and white, like super structured, like sick dress that was like, you know, like a pencil sort of vibe skirt and almost like gingham, like black and white, super cool with these heels. And I literally felt like $1 million in that suit. And I remember standing on stage and feeling more confident in my work as a speaker because what I was wearing. And I texted you when it was over and I was like, you actually changed my life. Like I was able to stand more confidently and feel more good in my own skin as I like performed or like gave this talk for 4 hours in those heels, which really hurt by the end of that. But like they looked good and I felt great. And you know, it's really true. And you know, I'm not a fashion expert. Like I wrote this in my book. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I ever picked up a fashion magazine. I don't know trends, but I know what makes me feel good. And when you identify what makes you feel good, you walk through the world far more embodied and authentic and empowered. So that I just wanted to highlight that.
Thank you so much for sharing. I remember, by the way, when you called me, I stopped my car. It was snowing. I stopped my car. I loved the car. And I started dancing and screaming. I'm like, oh my God, to me, this is a definition of success. If I gave you that confidence and the power to be on that stage and shine and do what you were born to do, for me, my job was complete.
That's what I mean. It's so much more than clothes.
Thank you.
Andrea.
So yeah, I had actually a similar experience with you, Jessica. I wouldn't consider myself a fashion expert by any means, but I do feel better and more confident to be on stage, to do comedy, to be on my Instagram when I'm dressed. And I think even if it's not your thing, you can find friends or you can find people like Ceta and like Tali that sort of help you kind of come up with your own style and say, hey, that looks great on you, or notice how this silhouette looks, you know, great with with your body type. And I think as I've grown, like for me, it probably started with things like my home, you know, like I've always been into like interior design. So like I have a very curated, just kind of eclectic home. And so I feel like slowly it's become, you know, my home, my wardrobe, my towels, my, you know, dishes, like everything's sort of taken this like on brand kind of, you know, way about it. And it just feels like, what's the word? It just feels like it works, and it feels more in flow and
Cohesive.
cohesive. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes. And it's organically sort of taken that, you know, that way over many, many years. And like you, like in the beginning when I've always known what I like, and I like to look good, but I needed just a little bit of help, you know, like putting it together. So I'll text Tali and I'll say, hey, what should I wear this? Or Ceta, what should I wear this? And it's such a great thing to have like real fashion blogger friends, because they can kind of push you out of your comfort zone and allow you to take risks and sort of help you or help me find my like personal style. And you know, Tali's helped me so much, like being on stage with comedy and just like, well, you know what, if I don't make people laugh, at least I look good, you know. At least I can nail that part of it, you know. It's like it just makes like Tali was saying, like when I'm dressed, when I feel good about myself, I smile, and then I smile at someone else, and then they smile, and then maybe there's a conversation, or maybe they're like, why did that girl smile at me? And now I feel happy. And it's just sort of this effect, I feel like, on the world that you don't really think about necessarily, but can really have a profound effect on your day or someone else's day. So that's
And
why.
100%. And your brand and your business.
In your brand.
Which I want to talk about specifically for you, because you're a Simply Be client and forever part of our family. And you were so fun to work on, Andrea, because like you do have that strong sense of fashion. And Alexa, our creative director, you know, did your logo, did your website, your color palettes, your textures, your leopard print, like, and it was so amazing to like take all the things you just mentioned, like your house, your dishes, your clothing, like, and put that, infuse that, and use that to inform your visual brand, which is so cohesive. Like when I see you online, I'm like unmistakable, that's Andrea Levoff. And then when I see you offline, it's connected, it's the same. And just for anyone, you know, thinking about my like visual presence online, like look to your sense of personal style. It's such a beautiful jumping off point. And you were just such a like muse for us as a client, because you're just, you know, so damn stylish. If I may, I want to read a little blurb from this book that I want to just like use as a springboard to really open this up. Okay. So I have like this whole fun chapter on style, and I like was like, I cannot wait to talk to these three women about this. So, okay. Fun fact. We process visual information, i.e. style, 60,000 times faster than written or verbal information. In other words, style makes not only a lasting impression, but a fast impression. Remember, impression equals brand, and the world we live in is becoming increasingly saturated and fast-paced, so you have to find ways to immediately stand out. Style is important for this reason, but also because your style defines who you are, whether you realize it or not. Style is how you announce yourself to the world. It is how you show up at that next meeting, online, look at these ladies, or an event. Whether it's a signature bright lipstick, your amazing shoes, a cool pair of glasses, or your casual vibe, you have something that is signature about you, even if you don't know it yet. This is such a good book. This is so true. Let me just expand, and then we'll open this up. Let me be clear about something. Having a strong sense of style is not the same as having a great sense of fashion. I am not encouraging you to run to the store and pick up the latest edition of Vogue. You don't have to pay attention to a single trend. I certainly don't. This part of your brand is nothing to do with being fashionable. It does, however, have everything to do with being you. It's about examining what's most likely already in your closet or even currently on your body and getting clear on why you might be wearing it, what you want it to say about you, and owning it. So let's talk about what your signature styles are, and if there are certain pieces or aesthets of your aesthetic that you feel like you want people to associate? Like when people like see the color yellow, they're like, Jessica Zweig. What is that for each of you? And do you think you have it?
I wearing it all at once right now. So I'm definitely one of my signature pieces. I can't see without glasses. So I decided I might as well have fun with my glasses. All my glasses are tinted, so they look a little bit like sunglasses, but they're actually my vision glasses, and they totally like became part of my identity. I also absolutely love wearing hats. I think it's just such a fun accessory that it's really it's a great conversation starter always, and for me it's always like complete the entire outfit. And as far as like signature item, like I'm obsessed with blazers. I think everybody needs to own like at least 5 blazers, but let's start with one. I think blazers look amazing with everything. I literally wear them over my yoga clothing. Right now I'm wearing over button down shirt that I'm wearing as a dress. And I just think that they make, and they elevate pretty much any look instantly and make it like really polished and also professional. So that's for me.
You've
I'm
taught
wearing them all. And white button down short. I mean, it's such a classic item.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to have a white button down short. So somehow I'm wearing them all. Maybe it's a little too much, but it's just for Zoom. So I'm bringing it my A game. And yellow is for you, my love.
I know. You look amazing. Ceta, what about you, girl? Do you have a signature style?
I do. I think I'm definitely known for my sneakers. Like I am like a sneaker freak. And my boots, I love like edgy. I have this like tomboy, I didn't pin it, but tomboy chic style that I have. I love an oversized black blazer. I love high tops. I love mixing prints. I love wearing prints. Andrea and I share the leopard print love. Tali and I share the white shoe love. We both love white shoes. Andrea and I both love leopard print, but I love mixing prints. Like, so that's kind of my thing. I think people like, oh, what shoes is she wearing? Cause my sneakers, so.
Yes. I remember the first time I ever saw you. Do you know this? Was Janet Mandel's fashion show.
Oh yeah.
You walked out in that like gold chain dress. That was like a moment.
I like starved to fit into that dress.
Oh my God, you looked amazing.
I worked out like every day when she's like, I really want you to wear that. I was like, what? I just had a burger.
I remember that. It was like, they had no give because it was made of like.
No give. It's just like, she told me the week before the show. I was like, no, I literally just finished like scarfing down a burger.
My point is you're very memorable,
Thank you.
You have such edge to you, and it's always so unexpected. And
yeah, because I have this feminine girly side, but I am a tomboy at heart.
your brand is Clark and Stone after your 2 boys.
Yeah, after my 2 boys, I taught them how to arm fart.
I want to talk about that in a second. I want to come back to that in a second. Andrea, what would you say your signature style is? Girl?
Definitely leopard print. Anything to Tali's dismay. She's like, babe, no more leopard print for a while. Like,
No,
She did not listen. She did not listen. Every time I come to her closet, there's new leopard.
I wish I could show you. I have a leopard print rug in this room. I have leopard print carpet in my closet. It's all over my home. I try to incorporate it as much as I can. And then I love bright colors. I love dressing in colors. I love, like Ceta, I love tennis shoes. I love tennis shoes with dresses. Anytime I could be comfortable and chic, I'm happy.
I have to say that Andrea inspired me to wear leopard. I've never, ever wore a leopard before, but after hanging out a little bit with Andrea, I stepped out of my comfort zone and I actually do love it. So it just says like, and that's what I encourage all the time, my clients, my friends, everyone, is just to really experiment and try to step out of your comfort zone, because you never know, you're going to be shockingly surprised. Right now, like slowly but surely, leopard is taking over my closet. And so is yellow. Jessica, I mean, did I ever wear yellow before?
No.
At your round, I could not even believe it that I wore that yellow dress, and I was so in love with that, and now possibly I'm going to own that as well.
The exact shade of yellow of Simply Be on your hat. But Andrea, I want to say something else to you, which I want you to talk about. Like, I actually think big part of your signature style is your red hair.
Oh, I was gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm naturally a blonde.
Yeah, and you weren't exactly. And you told me like when you dyed your hair red, it was like it changed your life, kind of
It
like.
changed my life. Yeah, it did. It did. I was like, internally, I was struggling with things, that I might not have been talking about outwardly, and it did like, it just gave me that like kick, that like change, and that sort of just, I identified so much as a blonde my whole life. I mean, as a blonde, Tali, Jessica, it can become, I'm a blonde. I'm a blonde. No, and you go and get your hair done, like, I'm not blonde enough. I need to be blonder. Really just like identified with that. And so when I started thinking about going red, I was like, am I a blonde? What if I wasn't a blonde? What would I be like as a redhead? And I think I was at lunch. Ceta, I think I was at lunch with you
with me and Tali, yeah.
At Ikram.
We're at Ikram.
And I was like, I'm gonna dye my hair red. And they were sort of like, they didn't know me well enough to be like, but they were like, okay. But it was many, many years of me thinking that I wanted to try red hair. So when I finally took the plunge, it really did give me confidence to do a lot of things. Like it was a very impactful thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I say this in my book, it doesn't have to be a signature item of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
It can be your hairstyle. It can be your bright lipstick. It can be your manicure.
Yes.
It can be your.
I'm known for my manicure.
Oh, girl,
Esther Wifey, yeah.
Yeah, I forget about that. Yeah.
Yes, your nails are always on point. No one can get an appointment with Astro Wifey anymore. I had to go to a different girl, but she did a great job. But
they're amazing.
Thank you.
Yours are amazing.
Oh, a little extra, but I'm cool with it. I want to talk to you guys actually, because I'm curious and I want to pick your brain. And I know there's a lot of people on the line that are like, probably know you from Instagram. Okay, so let's talk about Instagram, because Instagram started as, in many ways as a place for fashion, and now it's very industry agnostic and anyone can get on it and kind of promote themselves, and there's a billion people on it. There's space for everyone, I think. But it can also be a love-hate relationship. It has its pros and cons. So I would love to know kind of current state of affairs. Like, where are you guys at with Instagram? How has it changed for you? How has it benefited you? And also where are you struggling with it? I'd love to talk about all of it. If not struggling with it, but like, what's your biggest pain point?
Oh, I'm struggling with it.
Yeah.
I think you guys crush. I think you do a beautiful job, and I want to learn from you and I think everyone else does too.
I think like Instagram can definitely get frustrated, and it's definitely got frustrated for me at some moments during this journey. But I just stopped like overthinking it, and I stopped I swear I don't even think anymore about like likes or anything like that. I'm more about like bringing the value to people, getting that engagement going, delivering the content that people are really looking for, and just to really use it as a tool to connect with people and to build my business. And it doesn't really matter how many followers you have. Maybe even if you have 10 followers, right? You already an influencer. So I'm really trying to focus like out of 10 followers, if you're gonna sell something to one of them, to me, mission is accomplished. So it doesn't really matter. It's just, my tip would be is just like to stop chasing these followers and likes, because honestly, it doesn't really matter. And as you, Jessica, say, people don't really care. Now, I agree that brands do care and they do want to see the numbers. But in my case, I started less channeling to these brands that are interested in my followers. Like if the brands are looking for my followers and the amount of followers and likes, these brands are not necessarily for me. I want to work for brands that are coming for my value, my energy, and my people, and what I'm delivering out there. And I can tell you the truth. Like I swear, I posted a reel today. I didn't even see how many followers. I don't really, really care. And the minute I stopped caring, finally my numbers started going up. I feel like I stuck on like less than 30,000 followers. I can't even tell you for how long. It's kind of embarrassing because I've been doing a lot of, it was at some point because I was desperate to build my platform like everyone else, especially at the beginning. And I've been doing tons of giveaways, and I got a lot of followers that don't really care about my platform. They care about those giveaways. So they started like following and then following, and it's just a constant war. So I just really stopped doing it, and my numbers really started going up. And I love my Instagram, and I love my people, and I love my followers. And I'm very, very, very grateful for this platform. I think it's a really, really beautiful platform to put yourself out there, to connect with people, to build your brand. And I am, very positive person. So I'm really focusing in that. And I've been living and sleeping a lot better since then.
I love that. That's amazing advice.
Well, I was going to say, like, my relationship with Instagram is a little different because that's, Tali's a stylist, and she, has her Instagram platform, but Instagram is my career. I don't like to say I'm an influencer. I'm not something Navy where people are lining up down, the hallway to meet me at a store, but I do feel I create great content, and I'm thought-provoking. I'm scouting the location, the photographer, I'm, the look, creating a mood. And I think staying true to that part of me has, created, opportunities. Like I collaborated with Celine when I only had 10,000 followers, so I feel like Tali's right, the numbers don't matter. But they kind of do, which is, where we're all like, stressed out. But then, she's right that you have to stay true to you, like I do feel like I've built a community. I feel like for every headache that Instagram created when I announced that I had breast cancer, I got to see the fruits of my labor, like this community that was just like totally behind me, 100% supporting, my breast cancer diagnosis and my journey, and, people sending me things and DMing me and emailing me, like, for every headache that was like, people aren't engaging, like they were just doing it differently. And it took breast cancer for them to come out the damn woodwork.
Can I just say, I mean, I just launched a book, and it's like, it's different, but like when you're going through something real, like I learned the power of my community in the last, when people rally behind you, when you need them, Instagram, I want to hear from Andrea. It's like a necessary evil in a way, but one of the things that I really have learned of late is just how beautiful it can actually be.
Yes.
The community. Yeah, and I saw that happen to you. And by the way, I want to say this to you, Ceta, and all of you guys, like as a blogger, as an influencer, working with brands, creating content, you mentioned like you pick the photographer, you art direct the stuff, you pick the clothing, you set the mood. I feel like you girls work so fucking hard. Like you don't get enough credit, because it's like in order to create amazing content, takes time, takes energy, takes creativity. I don't have like it's really inspiring to me. And anytime I was on a Zoom call with another company a couple of weeks ago, I won't say who, and they were like, these influencers with their hats. She's like, what do you think about that? And I politely corrected her, and I was like, those are some of the hardest working women I know. And it is not just anyone can do that. And they hustle, and they have a value that brands want. And it's $1 billion industry for a reason, because no one can connect to people. So I just wanted to spotlight that, because you guys work so hard and you're so good at it. I can't do it. It's like really inspiring to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's true. Andrea, what's going on with you over on your IG, girl?
It's just to make a point of what you're saying. Like we really are our own ad agencies, like the full agency. At an agency, you have that comes up with the content, you have the creative director, you have the stylist, but an influencer is all of that in one or two people. Some of us might have an assistant, but it's really, coming up with a concept. Like I just did something for Hatch.
Stop. I went to Amazon. I was like, do I buy it? I swear to God, I almost bought it.
And it helps when, you love the product, obviously, like, cause you're very inspired and you want to get it out. But, it takes time. It takes like that reel took 4 hours. And luckily I had my assistant edit it because I'm not good at editing, but we make a great team. But I think what I've found, and I've gone through the whole gamut of, I'm going to make myself post once a day. I'm going to make myself post twice a day. I did that for about a year. And what I've come to is the things that get the most response are the things that I have the most joy in creating. So when I'm happy and I'm having fun in my content, people are picking that up. And when I'm forcing it and when I'm like not so into it, people pick that up too. So what I've come to is like, I just want to make my Instagram and my specific corner of the, Instagram world full of joy and full of love and full of connection. And when I put that intention into it, I always get something out of it. And even if I don't, I at least had that fun creating it. So it's a win-win. And I heard someone say the other day, like on Instagram, before you consume, create. So before you sit there and scroll and consume everyone's content, make sure you're adding something to the bunch, because I think that's where Instagram gets tricky, is when you find yourself in those like moments where you're bored or you're just like feeling off and you're kind of looking for it to give you something. And that's when I at least find I'm like, oh, I just on Instagram for, an hour and I don't really know what I got out of it.
Yeah.
Really true. Instagram, that's the part about it that I feel is a drag and a time suck. And like when I've gone off of it, how light I feel, to be honest.
Yeah. And you probably follow amazing people, it's like, they'll say, people say, do a cleanse and get rid of people that, and even so, like, even still, you're just like, I just got to get out of here.
Ever find it, I mean, I'm sure this is a stupid question, but like, do you ever find it triggering? And like, if so, how do you handle that?
Definitely. I mean, in times where I'm like extra tired or extra stressed or, my nervous system is out of whack, like, I have to be really careful what I consume, because it can be triggering. Comparison and things like that, like, are definitely real things, even for people like us who you might look at and think, what are they, they have 90,000 followers or they have a verification. Like, it's like, we still get into the comparison trap, I feel.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why I went public with my diagnosis. I certainly didn't, I would love to take it back in the sense of being private, but people can look at my Clark and Stone and think, oh, she has this perfect life, and they don't see the 3-year struggle with infertility, my mom passing away 2 years after I got married. And they definitely didn't see breast cancer when I'm showing all my workout videos and eating vegan every week, like I didn't see it coming. So I just felt like Instagram is a highlight reel. People think everyone's lives are perfect. They're not. Like, they're not seeing the messy parts of our lives. So I should share, my diagnosis so that people see that there is a real person behind these glossy photos that's struggling just like, the next person. But we get through it. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I wrote my whole book about, Ceta, to be honest, is like, show up as a real person.
Yeah.
This chapter of B is called Embrace Your Shit. And that's the first chapter of a personal branding book. It's not about being polished and perfect, although we can have it. But in order to really be of service and to add value into people's lives, which you all do through your fashion inspiration, but you're real people with such depth, and you're all going through your own respective personal, spiritual journeys as moms, as women, as, bodies that, are going through healings. Like, it's, to me, that's really the secret sauce. And when you really capitalize on that intersection of like how you show up, externally, and like what you do and like who you are and what's really going on in a way that, again, isn't cathartic or oversharing, but like, here's me, and I'm coming on here to show you you're not alone, for me to feel this alone. And there's real power in that. And each one of you have done that in such a unique way. And I know people who are on this call follow you, and I know that they see that in you too.
Thank you.
Do you ever get triggered? I don't know if you ever get triggered. Do you?
If I have a good trigger?
You ever like do you ever get comparison game or FOMO looking at other women in your space, or just like Instagram in general?
I don't know. I mean, of course, you're looking at others people. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say it triggers me. I listen to your podcast that talks about it. More than anything, I try to turn it into something positive, and I try to just like get inspired by that, you know, just kind of like turn it into something, into something positive, and be like really genuinely like happy for everyone's else success.
Yeah.
I think it's something that I don't think I've ever been like that. I'll tell you the truth. But the older I get, the more I kind of like own it. And I really try, always to focus on positive and see like, how can I do it like my own way? And
Yes. I did a whole podcast on this.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it comes from social media and looking at all of these other people who, Ceta, you said it. I mean, it's a highlight reel. It's a sliver of someone's actual reality. And yet it can seep into our mind and really affect how we feel about ourselves, which is very real.
Right.
And I'm the same way as Tali, and the same way as you women. Like I don't really have competitiveness, and I like really root for other women. I've always been that way. It's just like in my DNA. But if I'm going to be really honest, launching this book is incredibly vulnerable, and I've never felt like I've compared myself more than I have in the last few weeks watching other women launch books.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, who is this girl, Jessica? Like, this isn't you. And it's really tapping out. And this is for the, advice for anyone. Like we might not be jealous people, but we're human, and we can get triggered and activated. And to really just take a step back and become self-aware and zoom up and look down at yourself in that moment and be like, okay, what is coming up for me here? Because this has nothing to do with her. This is
yes, it's about
about me. And I will tell you, like, I'll text my life coach, I'll text my best friend, like, I'm having a moment right now. And like, did I not do enough? Should I have launched sooner? Like, should I have done that strategy or done that kind of Instagram caption? Like, literally that's been happening. And so I'm just sharing that to say that like, it's real, and it happens to all of us. And, we all have those struggles, and it doesn't take away from how special and unique we are. So
it's all about collaboration versus competition. I know that Ceta also talks about it a lot. It's how we can do it together, how you can bring yourself get involved and coming all together rather than competing with each other.
Yeah.
I think that sisterhood, the tribe, like that support each other, that's one of the main secret sauces for success. Like if we're gonna start like being jealous or being triggered, it's gonna just take away from all the creativity, from everything that we're born to do. So, but I understand it's hard because the industry is busy, and it's I get it. I totally understand how it's challenging for you, Jessica. I mean, I don't know how you can do better than what you did. Speaking of, I think the book
It's pretty amazing.
It's one of the most amazing, thoughtful, strategic launches that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I'm serious. Like, during the freaking pandemic, #1 order. Can we just mention that and celebrate it? I mean, I don't know how can you feel better, but I totally understand. It's normal, and it's and I think about it is just the coolest thing, and that's the way to go.
Thank you. Well, it's funny that you all talk about collaboration over competition, because when it came to choosing who I wanted for this night, I was like, I want all three of them. And it was so easy to find like photos of all three of you, because you've done so much together, and like you're this collective and this tribe of women that have really totally risen up. It's just very, very, very unique. And I honor you all for that. It's really beautiful to see. All right, so I want to open it up to questions. I obviously have learned so much from them, as I always do. And if you just want to put your questions there in the chat box, don't be shy. I'd love to open this up and make this like a true dialogue. And who wants to jump on in? Don't be shy.
I'll speak up. Oh wait, I can't speak up.
Carter. All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. I just have a question of, so many of you have tried different things with your style and they're not necessarily the like popular thing or the thing that you'll see on Vogue. And I wonder, how did that make you feel when you did see, quote unquote, your competition? For Andrea, like you going on stage for an open mic, like, did that make you feel more empowered, or did that make you feel more shy or timid at first? Like, what was the initial experience like?
For as far as style goes, like when I'm feeling, sorry, I missed the first part of it. Is it?
Yeah, when you really first started to embrace your style and really started to
Oh,
own it in that public platform.
yeah, I suppose now that you say that, maybe in the beginning I did feel like, oh, is this too much? Or am I, am I being too much? Or, am I making other people uncomfortable because I'm dressed to the nines, or I'm like really styled and maybe they're not. So probably, yeah, in the beginning I did feel a little bit like, more timid, but I think as I kind of got more comfortable doing it and sort of I grew into it and it sort of became my thing and became more a part of me, it really was something that I embraced and like ultimately led to more confidence.
Great.
Oh, Jessica, you're muted.
Sorry, I witnessed you come alive, like feeling fabulous and beautiful on stage, and I can't wait till we can like go to real events again and like.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I have a couple more questions here in the chat. So let's start with Mel. Do you all collaborate behind the scenes together?
Absolutely. I feel like that's one of the most beautiful things about, my friendships with Tali and Andrea, that we are collaboration over competition. I feel like when we each have something and, or even if we pitch something and we are thinking of each other, we just immediately, can you do this? And we set a date and we just make it happen.
Yeah, I see that all the time.
Yeah.
It's
fun working with your friends, like it's like
the best.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Tons of things behind the scenes. Lately, not enough, but we've done so much. And every time when I have an opportunity to like my collaboration with 900 Traps, we did a little Sex and the City photo shoot, and Ceta joined, and Andrea did my very first live here, which was amazing and probably one of the biggest reasons for me getting this collaboration. So I always said it, I would never be able to be here without their support, the love. I mean, that's my tribe. And I think that's my little secret sauce.
A rising tide raises all ships, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You all win. Everyone wins. It's so true. Caitlin asks, if you could go back to when you were first starting out, what would you tell yourself? I'd love to hear this from all three of you.
Oh.
I think I'd say don't be afraid to make mistakes. I mean, it's so cliche, but don't be afraid to make mistakes, because I think there's so much, you see all the success that people have and you don't see all the times that I've submitted a writing piece and it got rejected, or I've submitted a collab to a brand and they're like, no, thank you. Or so you only see the stuff that like is successful, right? Or semi-successful. And there's been so many times that I've not succeeded. And I think it's like, the more times you can not succeed, the better chance you have at succeeding. So it's like, you have to throw all this stuff out there and you have to just keep trying. And I think in the beginning, I was so nervous to make a mistake that it took me so long to even get off the runway with things. I'm not ready. I don't have enough education. I've never edited before. I can't make this video. Like, I'm thinking back, Ceta, to that video we made for
Fisher Price.
Fisher Price. And I look at it now and it's so funny. I mean, it's fine, but like, it's so like amateur and funny. But like, I needed to go through that experience. Like, I did the voiceover in this like horrible British accent. And it's just like ridiculous, but it's not, you can't just look at like my Hatch video today or something like that and think that I just came out the gate with that kind of content.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Even if you look back at your old Instagram photos.
Oh, yeah,
like,
mine.
oh God, like,
I'm like, fashion blogger, what was I wearing?
When style gets evolved.
Right? I mean, I used to wear black. All my photos were black, 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 black. And it was like, put some color in your life. You know, I think I
Or, like-
posted a red dress and it was like, I came alive.
Well, Ceta, you're a model, so I think you had all that prior practice of like posing, but like I look back at my posing, like my photos, and it's just like so off, you know, it's awkward. It's like I didn't know how I looked in front of the camera. So it's just like
Yeah.
my advice would to be just do it. Just get out there.
Yeah.
Andrea, now I want to scroll down and go like,
Do it. I'll do it for you.
Ceta, what advice would you give to your former younger self?
I was going to say the same thing, to just do it. You know, I feel like I went back and forth on starting a blog for years. You know, in the beginning, I'm like, no one wants to know what I have to say. Then it was the market's too saturated, when the reality is there's space for everybody. Like you said, Jessica, there is space for everyone. And what's for me will be. And I had lunch with Tali. I was like, hey, I'm thinking of starting a blog. I want to name it Clark and Stone. You know, like, don't be afraid to share your ideas, like with someone that you trust, you know, because people sometimes are so guarded with, you know, their ideas, and then they just hold on to it and they don't do anything. Like, you know, so I agree with Andrea to just do it, and don't be afraid to fail. Like, what's the worst that could happen? You know, you succeed. That's the worst.
Yeah.
I think, just to add to it, I think that just not to overthinking, because I feel like we definitely like overthinking, thinking about things that nobody really cares. And also think like, do one thing at a time and do it well. You know, like when I started the business, I've been doing a million other things and I got like very, very distracted. And I think like when you focus on one thing, one client, one follower or 10 followers, and just do it right and focus on like truly serving, then the result probably would come sooner for me. But I learn, and I think that's part of the journey, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And one more thing that my husband was telling me, and I love sharing it, it's like all about like planting seeds. Okay, like you might not gonna see at the beginning lots of results, but if you're gonna continue really like serving and doing it consistently, then the results are gonna start coming.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful. We have one more question and then I have a final question just for fun. What is something that stands out to you as brands reach out for partnerships and sponsorships?
What is
Deliverables. You know, I've had, you know, like a brand, like, you know, we want an Instagram live. I want 3 static posts, 7 stories, and a reel, and free. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, and I'm the person that, you know, I collaborated with Ann Taylor for 3 months, basically for free. And then it turned into a 9-month paid collaboration. But they weren't asking me for anything. They were just offering to give me the clothing, you know? So you can't make it a gift, but it's really a job and my payment is free, you know, like,
Yes.
yeah, the deliverables. It's like, are you nuts? Like, my photographer isn't free. My photographer can't drink this bottle of wine and pay her rent. You know, like, I have a mortgage, you know, I have kids in private school. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah.
That's what I said earlier. I'm like, you guys work so hard. It's
Yeah.
your time and your creativity and your value and your passion and your audience, like all of it, there's value. I'm so there. It's really interesting. What about you, Andrea? How would you answer that?
I would say, I think maybe I'll talk about what makes me excited to work for a brand. So
Yeah.
I think, like any brand that obviously like I'm already using the product, or like I already love the product and don't have to be like introduced to it, like something that just feels very organic are my favorite brands to work with, like products that I'm already using. And then I think it's great when the brand like trusts the content creator to know what resonates with their audience. So like I feel that the campaigns that do the best are the ones where they're like, you know your audience, here's what we want, have fun, you know, like feel free to create what you think will resonate. And so then it gives us the autonomy and the authority to sort of create for our followers and for our, community, instead of, because I think sometimes brands and clients like think in their head they know what they want, but they're maybe not, it's not super clear. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I certainly do not get brand partnerships the way you guys do, but I will once in a while. And like, it has to align to my values as a brand. Like the things that I stand for and things I deeply believe in. Otherwise it won't connect one with my audience. And then I don't feel like, I just feel like I'm doing it for the money and like that. Yeah, we got to pay our bills, but it just, it resonates so much deeper when you really personally love a brand.
Mhm.
Comes to you and you feel that connection. It's
It
great.
has to be authentic, like it has to be authentic. And the first year, if you choose to do this, you don't make any money. So it has to be authentic, and you have to love it. I'm paying $150 an hour for a photographer for something that I bought, hoping to get, to gain the attention of that brand,
Yeah, totally. Tali, what about you, girl?
100%, I agree with all of you, but for me, it's very, very important that it's aligned with my brand, and it's a brand that I preferably already use or own. And if not, I would definitely like to experiment that before I promote it to my followers. And I actually work the other way around. I'm not waiting for brands to reach out to me. I pick the brands that I wear and I love, and I feel that they align with my brand, and I reach out to them. And that's how I actually got most of my collaborations.
Yeah, I know it's true. All right, we have 2 more questions and then we'll call it a night. So what is your suggestion on transitioning my personal Instagram page to a professional one? Should I open a new account or switch my current one?
I would probably keep the current one, switch it to business, and just start painting your Instagram and in your new personal brand. I don't think a lot of people are necessarily going to be going and scrolling back. I think the most important, it's like the latest collage is going to look authentic to you and to your brand. I wouldn't worry about starting another Instagram, just too much work. I would keep it simple, don't overthink it, and just do it. And good luck.
Love it. Okay, final question. And I really am curious about this too. Do you have strategic planning when it comes to your posts and content? Do you guys like plan your weeks out?
I do.
I don't. I feel like it might be helpful sometimes, but if I have brands, I do, like I do, but I don't know, Ceta I know some people do it every day. And I don't do that.
I use what is it called? Preview app. And so I will plan out how I want my next 12 squares to look.
Yep.
I may not post it, every day, but I know the day that I'm like, oh, I want to post today, it's already planned out. And, my content for my .com is planned out for like 3 months. I may not post it, but it's planned out.
That's so good because it takes so much time.
Yeah. It's so time consuming.
What about you? You said no. You just
I have a hard time with planning. Every time when I plan, it's just not necessarily aligned with that mode of my day or what's happening with that day. So I do have like an overall agenda that I try to like align with all the holidays and all the big dates. But sometimes I just like wake up and I'm like, okay, what am I going to be posting today? What is happening today in my world? Like how can I share it with my followers and what value I can bring them. But again, because I'm a stylist and influencer, so I can't afford doing it. But I understand for someone who's Ceta, who is a digital content creator, like her page, it's very important for brands to have like constantly curated page. And I paid attention to it a little bit more, but lately, like I'm just posting what I feel like it's more relevant and it's going to be authentic to the day. And I don't really look as much anymore from the aesthetic point of view.
Well, I feel like we could do a whole other hour on Instagram, guys, because you guys are like master classes on this shit. And let's do that another time. In the interest of time, since we're at the end, I want to just close this out with one last little piece from the book because this really sums it up. So at the end of every chapter, I have a B tip, like it encapsulates the whole chapter of what I just said in a word. or in a chapter in a few sentences. And I'll read this to you as a way to close it out, because I really feel like this defines all three of you to a T. Be signature. What you wear tells a story. Understanding this is a superpower. Tell your story by rocking what makes you feel good. Nothing exudes confidence and memorability like a signature style. And you girls all have such a signature style as women as well as fashionistas. And I'm just so grateful for your support in my book and in my life. And I'm so inspired. And I know the comments are beautiful. Everyone's like, this was so amazing. Thank you so much for being with me, for simply being with me tonight. And if you're not following these ladies, go ahead and do it. And I'll pass it back to Ginny. And the final thank you goes to Anderson Books. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been really, really inspiring and fascinating. I've now, I think, joined all of your email newsletters. So fantastic. So yes, thank you to our attendees for being here with us this evening. We appreciate it. And to the four of you for sharing all your advice and your stories and your confidence with everyone. It's really appreciated. Everybody who's attending, you will get an email via event combo when your book that you ordered is ready to pick up or be shipped to you. So just keep an eye out for that. And unless you guys have anything else, I would just say thank you, everybody. Stay safe out there. Happy reading and be you, right?
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.